want a pizza me? Trump offers cheering crowd a slice of pepperoni pie he'd been eating at local Fort Myers joint after taking potshots at DeSantis, Bragg and Barr in long speech. Former President Donald Trump stopped at a local pizzeria after giving a long speech in Fort Myers, and even asked his fans if they wanted to enjoy the slice he had already bitten. It seems Trump, 76, worked up quite the appetite after appearing at the Lee County Lincoln Reagan dinner earlier in the evening, as he stopped by downtown House of Pizza, who said they were truly honored by the visit in Fort Myers after the event. Trump showed off his slice folded like a true New Yorker as he turned to the crowd and asked, "Does anyone want a piece of the slice I've eaten?" Almost immediately, the crowd yelled back, "No." It seems the former president wasn't only digging into a good slice of pizza last night, but several of his political enemies, including Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who indicted him on 34 felony charges over the Stormy Daniels hush money, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and his former Attorney General Bill Barr. While at the pizzeria, the former president appeared to be having a grand time as a broad smile spread across the Republican's face as he laughed at his own joke, before digging into a big slice of greasy pepperoni and telling the crowd, "It's good." Trump was surrounded by fans in the small pizzeria, with many seen holding their phones high above their heads or standing on chairs, just to get a glimpse of the former president. Fans screamed, "We love you and how is it?" as he enjoyed a large pie that he held in his hands. The father of five has always been a huge fan of pizza, having starred in a Pizza Hut commercial in 1995, with his former and late wife Ivana, who passed away at the age of 73 on July 14th. The former lover ate their pizza the wrong way, by digging in crust first, as the commercial chain pizzeria was promoting their stuffed crust pies. Here DailyMail.com breaks down the biggest takeaways from Trump's Lincoln Reagan dinner speech on Friday night. Trump threatens to investigate every radical Democratic district attorney on day one of my administration. It seems Trump still has hard feelings toward Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, 49, after his historic indictment, as he vowed on Friday evening to direct the DOJ to investigate every radical DA and attorney general in the country for their illegal, racist, and reverse enforcement of the law. He also said he would require every federal employee to pass a new civil service to prove they have an understanding of our Constitution, to stop the local Marxist prosecutors who release rapists and murderers while prosecuting conservatives. Bragg has been heavily criticized in the past for his soft-on-crime policies that allowed career criminals to continuously harm the streets of New York City, including letting some of Nick's worst criminals to filter through the system. Back in August, the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, even criticized Bragg, as it was revealed the same 10 criminals had made up of nearly 500 arrests. Trump swipes at Ron DeSantis, saying the Florida governor would be looking for Business without his support. Ron DeSantis, 44, who is expected to make a 2024 presidential bid, used to be one of Trump's biggest allies, but it seems these days the former president is more concerned with taking digs at the governor. On Friday evening, he boasted how he had 1.2 million more votes than your successful governor's campaign. He went on to detail how DeSantis reportedly begged his fellow Republican for support in order to secure votes. "Sir, I'd love to have your support." Sir Trump mimicked the father of three. "I'd love to have your support. Sir, I'm down in about 3. It was like a rocket ship after I gave him it, because otherwise right now you'd have a lawyer someplace looking for business." The once tight pair's relationship began to crumble as DeSantis distanced himself from the former president after the attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021. DeSantis eventually said the rioters needed to be held accountable. Later, the Floridan would win his re-election without the help Trump. While announcing his presidential bid, Trump took a dig at DeSantis, calling him Ron DeSanctimonious, while discussing how the Republicans were winning big in the midterm elections. Trump claimed his former Attorney General Bill Barr wasn't a brave person, because he was worried about being impeached. Trump also went after former AG Bill Barr, 72, saying his concerns about being impeached were ridiculous. "I said, what's wrong with being impeached? I got impeached twice and my numbers went up." He wasn't a brave person, Trump told the Republican crowd. The man didn't have courage. The former president claimed Barr would not go out and do what you had to do with respect to the election and the election numbers. He is referring to when he called for several states to recount the presidential votes. Trump said Barr would not let the U.S. attorney investigate Philadelphia. Bill Barr was afraid that crazy Nancy Pelosi would impeach him, he said on Friday. William McSwain, the former U.S. attorney in Philadelphia, said a two-page letter at the time that Barr instructed him not to release statements about possible election irregularities. Barr hit back against the claims from Trump and McSwain, insisting he never told anyone not to pursue fraud allegations after the election. He told Politico, "It's written to make it seem like I gave him a directive. I never told him not to investigate anything." Barr has previously said he opened an investigation because he knew Trump was going to confront him about claims of fraud and a rigged election. The U.S. intelligence community looked into the claims in the weeks after the election, but found no evidence of fraud on a scale that could have affected a different outcome in the election. Trump said he would continue to pack the Supreme Court with rock-solid, constitutional, conservative judges like Clarence Thomas. Trump might have spent much of his speech making digs at his former friends, but he also made time to ensure the crowd knew he would continue to pack the already Republican majority court. "I will appoint rock-solid, conservative judges in the mold of Justice Antonin Scalia and the great Justice Clarence Thomas, who is under siege right now, for doing nothing." Thomas is under fire for accepting several lavish gifts from a Republican megadonor, including private jet and yacht trips. Dallas-based Republican Harlan Crow paid out of his own pocket for an excursion to Indonesia and a tranquil upstate New York retreat for Thomas and his wife Virginia, better known as Ginny. The Ethics in Government Act of 1978 requires justices to file an annual disclosure form where they must disclose gifts, but makes exceptions for personal hospitality. A judiciary policy guide references the exception, but its language states it does not apply to travel that substitutes for commercial transportation, which would appear to include luxury jet or yacht travel. The personal hospitality gift reporting exemption applies only to food, lodging, or entertainment, and is intended to cover such gifts of a personal, non-business nature, according to the guide. Thomas issued the statement in unusual response to public attention for a member of the High Court, a day after it was revealed, saying, "Harlan and Kathy Crow are among our dearest friends, and we have been friends for over 25 years. As friends do, we have joined them on a number of family trips during the more than quarter century we have known them." In addition to showering the two conservative justices in praise, Trump also boasted about appointing almost 300 federal judges, as well as 3 great Supreme Court justices: Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and Neil Gorsuch. "Everyone talked about appointing conservatives to the court, but I'm the only one that actually did it," he said on Friday.